Okay, so the examples on this page are going to have a little bit of a twist to it because we're going to have some negatives. Okay, so we're going to set it up just like we did the other problems. So number 7 has n squared. So we're going to have n times n. And then we're going to make our little x times and plus. And then remember, the third number always goes in the top part. So that would be negative 18. And then the second number always goes in the bottom, which is 3. Okay, and so now we got to figure out what times what equals 18, but not only 18, but negative 18. Okay, so I'll just throw something up there just to show you what I mean. So what times what equals 18? The first thing I can think of is 2 and 9. But if I want 2 times 9 to equal negative 18, I'm going to need one of those numbers to be a negative, right? Because a negative times a positive equals a negative. So negative 2 times 9 does equal negative 18. Now, we have to check and see if these two numbers add up to positive 3. So negative 2 plus 9, that equals positive 7. So that is not going to work. So we are going to try something else. So let's see, what else equals 18? 6 and 3. So I'm going to put a 6 and a 3. 6 times 3 equals negative or equals 18. So I'm going to need one of those numbers to be negative in order to multiply and get a negative 18. So negative 6 times 3 does equal negative 18, but negative 6 plus 3 equals negative 3. So that's not going to work. Now here's the good thing we have going for us. It does add up to negative 3, so we actually have the number correct. We just need it to equal positive 3. So what we can do is we can say, well, instead of making the 6 negative, let's make the 3 negative. So 6 times negative 3 still equals 18, negative 18, but 6 plus negative 3 now equals positive 3. So this combination of a positive 6 and a negative 3 is what we want. So I'm going to make it a positive 6 and a negative 3 like that. Okay, so remember how I've been making you do all those time test Tuesdays that you really hated? Here's why. Because right now it's going to be really important that we know mental math as far as like adding and subtracting negative numbers. Okay, it's going to make your life a lot easier if you can do that sort of thing in your head. All right, let's try a few more. So maybe I'll go down to number 9. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to set it up and say this one has g. So it's going to be, instead of x times x, it's going to be g times g. And then we want to multiply to equal negative 10. And we want to add to the middle number, which is positive 3. And we got to figure out how to make that work. So I usually start with what can I multiply? So what can I multiply to equal 10? First thing I think of is 5 and 2. So 5 times 2, right? But I need one of those numbers to be negative if I want to multiply them and get negative 10. Because 5 times 2 would just be 10. So how about negative 5? Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. But negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So what did we do last time? Well, I have the 3 part of it right. But last time when this happened, we were able to just throw the negative to the other number and make it work. So 5 times negative 2 is 10, so we're good here. And 5 plus negative 2 does equal positive 3. So we need a 5, a positive 5, and a negative 2. Done. Okay, let's go to, I think I'm going to go back up to number 8. So we got x squared, so we'll do x times x. Okay, we want to multiply to negative 8 and add up to 2. All right. What times what equals negative 8? I think, or at least 8 anyway. 4 times 2 is 8, right? So let's make the 4 negative and just see if that works. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Good. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. That's not going to work because I need a positive 2. So I'm going to switch the negative over to here and check again. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. 4 plus negative 2 is positive 2. So we have our combination. We need a positive 4 and a negative 2. Okay, I'm going to skip number 10 and go down to 11 because I think that one is more important. It's a little bit of a trick question. So let's get it set up. We need x times x. Okay. We need to multiply to equal positive 24, and we need to add up to negative 11. All right, so 24, what times what equals 24? 2 and 12, right? 2 and 12. So 2 and 12. All right, this time we want it to multiply to a positive 24. So 2 times 12 equals positive 24. But 2 plus 12 equals 14. So here's the weird thing. We want it to multiply and be a positive number, but we want it to add up to a negative. So in order for that to happen, I either need a positive times a positive to get a positive, or I need a negative times a negative because 2 negatives equal positive when you're timesing. So in this case, I'm going to want these both to be negative in order to multiply to get a positive number, but to add up to a negative number. Okay, so you could check in your calculator to just see kind of what I'm talking about. But negative 2 times negative 12 still equals positive 24. When I add negative 2 plus negative 12, I actually get negative 14, which is close. I need negative 11, so I'm not super far off here. So I need to try again. 2 and 12 isn't going to work, so let's try something else. 8 and 3, right? So 8 times 3 equals 24. But 8 plus 3 equals 11. So if I want to get negative 11, I'm going to need to make them both negative. Now I'll explain this again. Here's why. Negative 8 times negative 3 does equal positive 24. Negative 8 plus negative 3 adds up to negative 11. So we have our combination. We need a negative, oops, wrong color. We need a negative 8 and a negative 3. And remember, it doesn't matter what number goes first. You just need them both in there. Okay, let's do one more. And remember, we are doing a Google Meet on Friday where I can go over this in a little bit more detail with you. So if you're still struggling at the end of this video, come join me on Friday at 11 and we'll do some examples. Okay, so last one. 50. Oh, 50 is the number. So that's the multiply to 50, and I need to add up to negative 15. So what times what equals 50? The first thing I think of is 10 and 5. 10 times 5 is 50. 10 plus 5 is 15, but I need negative 15, right? So the only way to multiply and get a positive is if you have 2 positives or 2 negatives. So negative 10 times negative 5 is positive 50, and negative 10 plus negative 5 is negative 15. So cool, we've got it. These all work, and so we need a negative 10 and a negative 5. That's it for today. Hopefully I see you at the Google Meet on Friday at 11. Check your email for more information on that. Bye.